Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy, the Kryptonian, saying, bringing you a review for One Piece chapter 307, and it's wacky little chapters like this is why I really enjoy One Piece, man. I like how Usopp, when you think all the chips are down, Usopp puts that big unorthodox brain of his to the use, and he thinks to start using the dials that he got from Skypiea. And it's a shame he doesn't have the jet dial, but he thinks to use the impact dial. And I like how that impact dial is just like one huge ass Nas hit, and all of a sudden they go from being in second place, last place, and skipping ahead to first place. I thought that was pretty cool. I like the interaction that we get between Nami and Usopp, where Nami tells Usopp, "Oh, well, you can use the dial one more time. We can get even further ahead." And Usopp's just like, "Woman, are you crazy? I'll blow my my arm. I'll blow my body to bits if I use this thing again." That was pretty cool, man. I like just the humor that we got with this. And right away, once again, it just shows, like, when Usopp is speaking, nobody takes him seriously. I know, some people in the past on this channel, they've taken to kind of bashing Usopp. I know Usopp isn't a very popular character, I guess, but the thing is I enjoy reading him for chapters like this, where he just provides a good dosage of humor, man, because as soon as the chapter starts off, they explain the rules. You got to make one lap around the island, and you can sink the other ship, you can use cannons, do whatever it takes in order to win, right? So you're thinking, okay, it's just going to be between these two. And Usopp warns Nami, like, look, if we're going to do this, it's best if we don't stay on the inside of the shore. And Nami's like, well, why wouldn't we stay close to the shore? That's the quickest way to circle. And sure enough, as soon as it starts, you got cannon fire just going all over the place. And when I'm reading it, I'm going, damn, like, when's Robin gonna do something, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, didn't she like use that devil fruit power to like sink a ship or something? Like, she did something to like the Navy or something like that. I remember either reading it in a chapter, or I know she had a huge bounty for something. I can't remember the actual specifics, but I was expecting something with this, man. So didn't happen. But what was cool was the fact that as these cannon shots going off and the ship is just flying all over the place, that's when Luffy and Sanji and Zoro go through and they kick the other team's ass for interfering. And I like how it happens right after Robin says, hey, look, they might have, gotten involved, but we got our own crew too. It goes both ways. So I thought that was cool how Oda had that in there. And one of the shots, you got Sanji just kind of bursting through, powered by the feelings of love. And he's just like, what'd you do to Nami-san? What'd you do to Robin-san? Now, he don't say anything about Usopp, man. That was hilarious, man. My dude's got a one-track mind, man. It's all about the women. I thought that was pretty cool to kind of see that. And I like how Luffy, at one point, it's like, you guys don't lose. He's cheering them on. And that says a lot about Luffy as a character, but also as Luffy as a leader, because you got to keep in mind, I feel like everybody in this crew could lead their own group, have their own crew of pirates. And yes, even Usopp, because even though they're little kids, Usopp was grooming them, man. So it's like, all of them could be leaders. Even Chopper, though, I would not want to join Chopper's crew. Just saying that right now. No way in hell would I want to join that one. But the thing is I like how Luffy is cheering them on and just showing the support, because sometimes when you're in a leadership position, it's not as easy to trust the people who are under you to come through and perform when you need them to come through in the clutch. If you're a leader, period, at certain points you just want to take over because you want the job done in the correct way. You want it done the way you want it done, right? And so Luffy showing faith in his comrades, that is really huge. That's a nice step forward for his character, just in terms of his growth as a leader. And it's also showing that even though he knows the rules and knows what's at stake, and he might have jumped into the situation without actually knowing the full extent of the rules and knowing what's at stake, he trusts his crew to come through. And at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing, that as a subordinate, that's what you want from your leadership. It's just the fact that they can have faith in you. So I thought that was cool for Oda to show that. And just like how he just throws in little small, nuggets, little wisdom of life nuggets that you can kind of take away when you look at the character's actions. That was really good to see that. Also, to unpack this even further, I like how Zoro is just indifferent, and it really feels like to me this is more of that that competitiveness in Zoro, because one of the first things we learn about Zoro is that he wants to be the greatest swordsman of them all. He's got a competitive spirit, and you can tell he's just itching to kind of get into it. So that was cool to see that. Now, the other thing about this chapter is you don't know what the hell to expect. You know, at one point, one of the shark dudes, you know, obviously I don't know if he ran with all on. I can't say that, you know, because fishmen could exist in each of the different seas. But, you know, I'm looking at that, and I think it's pretty damn amazing that he used the fishman karate and just sends this huge wave up at him, man. Like, splits the water, sends like a little shock wave. I thought that was cool. And I like how Robin at one point, that's when, you know, she uses Usopp's one of those little not peppers, but one of the little things he shoots off, and it's got like the little gag explosion. Doesn't do anything, right? And I was really disappointed by that, because you know Usopp, if he makes some crazy shit like how he did in All Along Park, where he just used his brain and used like a fire pellet and had the dude doused in alcohol and just lit him on fire. You know Usopp could put his brain to something if he wants to. He's a very quick thinker when it comes to just doing things on the wacky side. So I was really expecting something big on that, man. But, you know, Robin takes advantage of it, and she uses her devil fruit ability, and she just flips this dude over. And I like how when she says flip him and he's on his back, you know, for me, I got a very beautiful vision. I was thinking about Tony Romo in the preseason where he breaks his back trying to carry the Dallas Cowboys, and he's just on his back writhing around. I can't stand the fucking Cowboys, so sorry. If I got Cowboy fans, I'm sorry. But I was just thinking about that, man, because I was just like, that was a beautiful sight, and I never laughed as hard as I did just then when I was reading that, man. It was like literally last night I laughed like that was the Tony Romo thing. So Cowboy jokes aside, saddle up, guys. But Cowboy things aside, man, I thought that it was pretty cool how Robin uses her powers, and the guy, the leader of the Fox Pirates, right away is like, damn, she's got devil fruit. You know, so you can see the value just going up with each person. So that was cool to see that. You know, another thing with the team dynamic that is pretty interesting is how Nico Robin is just sitting there chilled. She's reading the book, and she's actually using her hands in order to do some rowing. And it just shows you how Nico Robin, like I said, she's a jack of all trades, man. Like, she even tries to get some espionage on at one point and stretch her hand out. And I see what one of you guys told me in, you know, one of the comments, you know, back when she was first introduced. You know, if anything happens to her hands, that's it. That's it. She's going to feel the pain. And we know we saw it to a certain extent in Skypiea when she was fighting. So, I mean, we saw it to an extent, but this just lets you know now, like, if she would have got her hand cut off, it would have been chop, chop, night, night. So that was pretty big to see that, man. And she wouldn't have been as lucky as that horse, Sherry. Wouldn't have been as lucky because, you know, Chopper was right there to care for Sherry a few chapters back. Whereas in this one, not Nami, Robin would have been on her own. Nami is not the best when it comes to patching people up, and God knows you don't want Usopp to do it. And speaking of Usopp, I like the Usopp and Nami kind of dynamic throughout this chapter. You know, I told you guys about the dial, but I like how when they're going over the rules of the game and just like what can happen if they lose. You know, Nami's like, they're going to come after me because I'm the most beautiful one. And you know Oda did this on purpose, man. Oda had Usopp say, but I'm prettier, and Nami just whacks him in the head, man. So the comedic relief was there. And, you know, again, it's just showing, like, you know, the shonen trope, you know, angry female protagonist knocks one of the other people in the main cast. So that was nice, you know, like, that's to be expected. But when you look at what happened, Usopp told another lie. Obviously, Usopp, and I mean, I'm attracted to women, so I can't really weigh in on that. But, you know, I'll say this, you know, I don't think Usopp be the most attractive woman, okay? That's just me. But the thing is Nami whacks his ass because, one, he told a lie. He's obviously not more attractive, and then he just compared her to her, and that could probably hurt a girl's self-esteem, man. You know, Nami's got a lot of it, particularly when it starts coming to her skills as far as stealing from pirates. Like, you know, she's got a lot that she brings to the table, but you know, looks like that was kind of hit right there to even be put in that same category. And I just thought it was hilarious because again, Usopp told another lie, and it was done in a very subtle way. I really enjoyed reading that scene. So overall, very interesting. I do think that this could turn another direction because one of the rules that was kind of explained was that this was a race where if you fled, you would be considered, you know, shamed. You know, this was very specifically said that this was not a race for cowards, and you got the biggest coward of Luffy's crew on this ship. So very interesting to see what can happen. I don't foresee an opportunity for Usopp to just turn tail and run, but we do know that the other captain is getting ready to make a move, and the chapter ends off with him saying that, you know, he's got something evil in mind. So we know that something's going to happen with the next chapter. You know, we do know that this race is going to continue for a while because they got this like little obstacle course, and you know, one of the ones is going to come up as a whirlpool. So very interested to see where this goes. My chapter question for you guys is, what was your favorite wacky moment out of all of this, man? But as always, if you like anything I had to say, hit that like button as it really helps out the channel. Make sure to comment, subscribe, share. I will greatly appreciate it, guys. Thank you for watching. Have an awesome day.